All right, everybody, welcome to the Rude Awakening, where we start your mornings with 2 eggs and a stack of hot takes. And right over here, we got Dylan Sissian, my guy. We talk about the NFL. We usually have Dylan and Tom. Tom couldn't be here because he's a Steelers fan and he's sorry. But Dylan, say hi to the people. How's it going, man?
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, so
How's it
Dylan,
going?
a couple of Eagles fans here. We're going to talk about kind of like what happened in the wild card round, predict the
Yeah.
divisional round. When this episode comes out, it will probably be after some of the games, but you can kind of look back on this and see how our takes age like a fine wine, or like that milk you keep in the fridge for a few weeks. So
Yeah,
we'll
seriously.
see.
Mine will probably be the milk. I'm still going with the playoffs.
Yeah,
NBA
right. Like
playoffs.
if we get one matchup right, I'll be happy. Like honestly. Um, so yeah, we're looking forward to these next matchups. If we want to start off at the top, oh, by the way, subscribe. I want to say at the start of the video, subscribe, like the video, share with your friends. I'm gonna try and get back to uploading regularly again and start off with the playoffs. And we're gonna talk about the first matchup since we're Eagles fans. We'll talk about Eagles Rams. So Eagles coming off that win against the Packers. What do you think about that victory? Not like a great win, I would say, but we still got the job
Not a
done.
great win,
Yeah.
but at the same time, versus the regular season. Look, the regular season is when you want it to be pretty because then you feel good for the playoffs. Okay, you won in the playoffs, right? That's all that matters. Is it pretty? No. Saquon still have 100 yards? Yes. Did Jalen eventually get somewhat of a rhythm? Yes. So not a pretty game by any means necessary.
No,
Well, wins a
definitely
win.
not. It was frustrating watching Hurts play because you're like, he's just coming back from the injury to the concussion, which I had a feeling he was going to get it eventually because our last episode, that interview he had after the Washington
yes.
win. Yeah, we were like, is he okay? And then like it happened the next time they played Washington. I'm like, that's so weird. Just that timing, how that played out. So yeah, it's good to see he's back. Yeah, and then it gets to the Rams, who, oh my God, they just shut down the Vikings, man. What happened with them, man? They just
Seriously. Are they frauds
imploded.
or Sam Darnold? What,
He
what's
fumbled the bag, Sam Darnold.
seriously.
All that, those millions of dollars. I mean,
He was
the Browns will probably sign him, but like, yeah, now it's like, okay, we're gonna stick with JJ McCarthy probably. That was rough.
I remember all year I kept saying, what are you going to do with McCarthy? Originally, before this playoff game, I said, there's a chance that they trade McCarthy to the Raiders or whoever, and they get a bunch of picks for it. But
Not anymore. See you, Sam.
Just,
Bye bye. Yeah, gonna be rough for the Vikings. I feel bad for Vikings fans. 10 sacks the Rams had against them. 10
yeah,
sacks. Or it was more.
and
Probably.
I
That's what
think it
felt
was
like.
9. I know Jared Verse had a strip sack.
Oh, and us Eagles fans love Jared Verse.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
he's
how dumb can you be to say that?
picking four going to Philly.
You're in Philly. You're just a moron.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know what Jared Verse was saying, like he's like, I hate that green and white because he's from Bloomsburg, PA.
Yeah,
I
he
think
is.
I saw that and I was like, that's near where we go to school, and I was like, dude, what do you know what Eagles fans are like? You're just eating them up. And
Yes.
Saquon was even like, I played for the Giants, division rival. I never said that.
For
I do better.
Saquon to come out and say, "What in the world are you doing?" That's when you know you've screwed up.
And
Saquon's
Saquon's like
very
a chill
humble.
guy, keeps to
Yeah,
himself.
he's a very humble guy. Yeah. So
And for him to come out being like, you dummy. That's what he pretty much was saying. Like, it wasn't like
pretty
Micah
much.
Parsons like saying something on his podcast. It was Saquon who's pretty quiet.
It seems dumber. Like when Micah says something on his podcast, you're like, "All right, you're just talking to talk."
Yeah,
When
exactly.
Jared Verse says, "I hate Eagles fans" on media day or whatever it was.
Yeah. Like,
Hell
bro,
you
you better be sure you have a set career with the Rams. I know he's doing
Yeah,
great this
sure.
rookie year, and he might win rookie of the year. We think it should be Quinyon, but stats don't really show how great Quinyon's been. But if you look at quarterback, like how the least amount of targets have gone towards him. Like he locked up Terry McLaurin. He's locked up like almost every receiver he's played. I think Packers. I mean, like that defense made Jordan Love look like a scrub.
He's held Mike Evans. He's had Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
He held Jamar Chase.
Oh, dude, the Jamar
he's
Chase one
played
was
against-
impressive.
Yeah, like he has held great receivers week after week. Like you said, the Washington game he did fall apart a little bit, but I mean, everybody's going to.
Yeah, division rival. You play them, twice a year. They're the teams that know you the best.
McLaurin's not a bad. Like McLaurin's gonna figure out a way.
Yeah,
That's why he's called
he's
Scary Terry.
Yeah, terrifying. But the Eagles Rams. I mean, like it's hard to not take bias, but I mean, who do you have winning this game? I mean,
Yeah, it's hard not to take bias. I do have the Eagles winning this game, but I mean, there are two ways this goes. This is gonna either be the worst showing we've ever seen from Jalen Hurts, And we're going to be sitting there saying, all right, defense, come on, one more. Just get us one more. And we're going to hope to God that Saquon is good to run.
Yeah.
Or this is going to be one of those where the defense is just alive the whole game and Jalen's feeling himself and the Birds walk away like demolishing them. That's how I see it.
We saw how impressive that Rams defense was against the Vikings. So Jalen, I think now's the time to step up. You could lay back a little bit against the Packers, but now you got to actually put the boosters behind you, start running that ball more, give it out to Saquon. They didn't really Saquon a lot against the Packers. Packers defense did a great job shutting down the Eagles, surprisingly.
I think the Packers defense from that game, you could see the switch from the D coordinator. He made the switch to, okay, we're going to blitz Jalen more. We're going to do, and you can kind of see the alarm bells in Jalen's head go off. Like, oh, I got to get rid of the ball. You just see him scrambling or whatever. So let's just
after that first drive, it was rough.
Yeah. So let's just hope that this week that Jalen knows, like, hey, this is what they're probably going to do.
Yeah, because you can't rely on the defense too heavily, I would say, for this game. Because unless you injure all the Packers like we did, we did the same to the Rams. Yeah, I felt bad for those guys.
Ideally, if you're going to play Detroit next week, you don't want the defense to go crazy this week. It's got nothing to do with injuries. We'll get into it later. I've never seen a team so defensively battered and still win games, and that's going to matter.
Yeah, dude. It also sucked losing to Kobe Dean for the rest of the playoffs. He was integral. The linebacking core was the weakest part of that defense last year, and him and Vaughn have taken that step and filled the slot perfectly, making the defense look awesome. And losing one of those guys does suck against the Rams team, who have a healthy Stafford, Puka, Cooper, Kyron. Their weapons are healthy, man. But, yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. And also,
they haven't used Cooper too much. I think since week 17 or whatever, he's been as quiet as he's ever been as a.
Oh, definitely. He's been laying back compared to his Triple Crown year, compared to that cup. Yeah. But you already know the narrative going into this game because what Verse said about the Eagles. Eagles fans are gonna be booing the hell out of the Rams, and the media's like, how dare they after the wildfires LA's going through. But it's we're not booing them because of that.
We donated money. Money. We're good people. We're good people.
Most of us are good people. There's that one Eagles fan that got in trouble. That Packers fan. That was so I don't know the context behind that. Do you know what was said by that Eagles fan? Don't say a word verbatim.
I can't say that. Called her a C word, and some other things. Yeah. And it was caught on video. But the funny part about it was that the Packers fan, they found his GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe was to go buy the tickets for the Birds game. And in the GoFundMe description, it said, "I've been to this stadium many times. Send me into the belly of the beast." And everybody was commenting. Everybody was commenting on his GoFundMe or whoever found that post and posted it. It was man, you couldn't even afford your own tickets. It's that's kind of sad.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that was just rough, that whole situation. So hopefully we can put that past us. I'm gonna take the Eagles over the Rams too, and it's okay, bias. But the Rams are a great team. I think it'll definitely be close game, maybe 21-18, 21-15 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say 27 because Jake Elliott's going to miss something. I'm going to say 27-21. Jake Elliott's going to miss an extra point.
He'll make some 50-yard field goals, but he missed an extra point. Yeah.
Mike King.
Inconsistent, yeah. Mike King, though, Jake Elliott, yeah. Oh, dude, that's going to be a fun game to watch together. Yes. And we'll talk about, I guess, the game that'll be, I think, already happened or happening when I upload this is the Chiefs-Texans. So Texans got it in the bag, Chiefs. What have they ever done?
Seriously.
No, but what do you think? Texans.
Okay, so really, I think we're either going to find out if the Chiefs are legit or not. And that is a dumb statement for me to say.
Yeah.
But the Texans team has struggled all year. And last week they picked off Herbert 4 times.
Yeah, who looked worse, Herbert or Love? Probably Herbert.
Probably Herbert. Yeah. But they picked him off 4 times. They put up 32. So, if the Texans go out here and they actually put up a good fight after looking horrendous all year, then I think, and I don't know about
kind of a success, too, because he had the sophomore slump with Stroud the whole year.
Yeah.
It's a mix. It's not really all his fault. I've seen with some, quarterbacks having that second-year struggle. It's been a mix of just losing all his receivers. We talked about it before the recording, just losing Nico, Tank, Stephon out for the year. It's dude.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, Herbert had the same thing a couple of years ago. So, not an injury. He just had the slump. So, it's it happens.
Herbert, Baker went through it. I remember Baker went through a pretty bad one because his rookie was really good. Um,
playoffs to corn rotator cuff, whatever it was.
yeah. But the Texans beating the Chargers the way they did was impressive, man. Because I had Chargers winning
Yeah,
that game. So I'm like,
I did too.
Texans, like, all right, easy. Chargers defense has been awesome. Nope, it just did not
No,
happen that way.
no,
And then
no.
the Chiefs, they're the one of the three teams that have, what was the stat line? It was like they're like them, the Giants and Raiders for teams that like only have won games by one score. I think. Or
Yeah,
was it?
and
Yeah,
honestly, for the Raiders and the Giants, it's not shocking for how god awful they are.
yeah.
But when you
But the
look at
Chiefs
the
is
Chiefs,
crazy. Yeah,
when I look at the Chiefs now, I look at last year's Eagles, and maybe it's just because I root for the Birds, but it's like what was it, like week 4, whatever it was, when they played the Chargers, they beat them 17-10. It's
yeah.
like that, and then at
They
that
barely
point,
beat the
that was a Chargers
Broncos.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes, that's what
that's
it
the
was,
game. Yeah,
and I mean
Broncos
they got
block or the Chiefs blocked the field goal from the
yeah
Broncos.
they blocked the field goal, and at that time, I think they were still undefeated. So, and then next week,
Yeah, because they
Josh
didn't
Allen
lose
came
the
into town.
Bills. Yeah, they
Yeah,
played
then
the
next week, Josh Allen came into town and curb stomped them. But it's gonna be a good fight. I think the Chiefs do win.
it is what it is.
28-21 is my prediction, but I do think that if Stroud is feeling really good, I do think anything can happen.
Yeah, CJ, we saw that guy from last year pops up. That'd be awesome to see for the Texans. Obviously, I'm probably going to go with the Chiefs because, last year I kept betting against them and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So maybe if I bet on them, the
And
good
maybe.
things will happen. Yeah, so. But the
Yeah.
Chiefs, yeah, they're coming off the bye week, and they're going to be playing at home. It's going to be ice cold in Arrowhead today, I would assume.
I think it's 18 degrees right now.
Not as bad as the Dolphins game last year, but still. But,
No. So
yeah.
let's see. Kansas City.
Yeah, I think that Chiefs defense will be integral to them winning as well. Because the offense, like they've been solid, but the defense, they do have good pieces. I mean, Duffy's solid. Chris Jones is one of the best guys paid. And they have a good core there with Karlaftis and their linebackers. I think the defense is better than the offense, honestly, because I think
Yeah.
because Mahomes' weapons aren't the best. That's kind of but Hopkins stepped up, I would say. Obviously Rasheed Rice stuff for the year because Mahomes took him out. Put him on the IR.
I honestly don't think the Chiefs have that good of a receiving core. I honestly think that
because all the money's going to Travis and Pat. It's like they don't have enough money to get like the real, big talent.
I think
Xavier Woods fast.
Speedsters. Yeah, great. You have speedsters, but
and we know that works out well. Like just trying to run the speedsters. Yeah,
John Ross.
Just Xavier Woods and John Ross. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm going with Chiefs too. I think I'll do like a 28, maybe like a 28-24. I think Texans will keep it close. I'm thinking these games are all going to be close. Maybe
I think they
actually
will
no, not except for one. Actually, I think this one will be like a bit of a blowout, and I think that's going to be Lions Commanders. So yeah,
I think my tale of this weekend is it can go two ways. I think at the end of the day the Lions are going to win this, but I also think there's a chance that Jaden Daniels keeps them in this because I think what a lot of people don't know about Jaden Daniels, if you don't follow or didn't follow college football last year, Jaden had no defense. Jaden was playing from behind every single week. And honestly, God, that's why he won the Heisman. Because he was that good at bringing them. I mean, they finished 8-4. Whatever they finished, it's not his fault. I think he only turned the ball over 5 times. So I think for him, what makes it really interesting is Detroit's going to win this, but how close can Jaden keep them in this?
And that's the thing, too, is that after that Buccaneers game, very close game, really good game, too, probably the best wild card game, Buccaneers-Commanders. Commanders edging out the Buccaneers just by a little bit, man.
By a field goal.
That kicker was nervous, man. It's Nate Gonzalez, right? He kept doing the hair. Yeah.
OCD is a rough disorder, so I guess
he's like, oh, because I remember the kicker. He played for the Browns and like he missed a pivotal kick. He's missed some pivotal kicks, so that's why he was like sweating. He's like, please don't cut me. He didn't want to do a Parky situation.
Please.
He did a reverse Parky. Dude, so he doinked that shit in. But yeah, the Commanders etching out that win against the Buccaneers. I thought Buccaneers were going to win that game too. I was a big believer in Baker. Get them coming back like that, but the offense did a good job. Jaden Daniels, great rookie quarterback. Bears are kicking themselves for not drafting him. Probably we'll see how Caleb Williams ages, but yeah.
Jaden is looking a lot like Stroud. So I mean, next year's gonna be next year, but Jaden's looking a lot like how Stroud looked last year. So
yeah, they'll get some good pieces for Jaden, and maybe we'll see how that goes. If he suffers the slump or he, just somehow does better. And Washington becomes like this powerhouse. I don't know.
That's going to be a real interesting conference and a real interesting debate.
Yeah, if the Cowboys get their shit together, which they'll have it until maybe another 10 years for unexplained reasons. We'll see what happens at that point.
Jerry goes.
Jerry goes to sleep. No, I'm playing. But Commanders, they're a solid team, but the Lions are the Lions, dude. Like Dan Campbell will go in the field himself if another defensive player goes down. Like he will get them that win.
I don't think we, like you and me, have ever seen a team in our lifetimes this defensively battered, or even offensively. I mean, I know they've lost a couple of guys here and there, and they're putting up. I get it. When they played the Bills, they won 48-45 or whatever, but they still put up 48 points. And I mean, that's just one game, but it's just like they are winning games by decently large margins. And I mean, when they played, now we see it, Minnesota are frauds. But when they played Minnesota, they shut them down in the second half.
Yeah.
Jettis did nothing. Or, in my opinion, the greatest receiver in the league right now. Maybe Jamar Chase, you want to throw that, but that's a whole different debate.
It's an LSU receiver, either one.
Yeah,
like,
it's
awesome.
either one of them.
Yeah.
But
and that Lions-Bills game, too, like, holy crap. Like, that game was impressive.
That game came down to an onside kick. That's what it came down to.
Pretty much. And Dan Campbell, his cojones weighing him down a little bit too much because it kind of affected the play style and kind of cost him to win a little bit. But you got to appreciate that kind of, play calling style. Obviously, like we get mad at Nick Sirianni for doing it in bad points. I feel like Dan Campbell there there you go.
Nick does it at the absolute just worst timing. Dan Campbell, he doesn't stop doing it. So
yeah, Sirianni does it at like the worst. And that's the one thing because I'm like, he is growing on me a little bit this season since the last time. Like,
because he's kept his mouth shut.
Exactly. Also, he shaved his head. Baldiani. I do like
Baldiani.
Baldiani. But he's kept his mouth shut, and then he's been, hey, I mean, he's the highest winning percentage of an active coach, I think. And obviously, you say he's coasting on talent, but Nick's been doing his job, I guess. But Campbell's probably the best coach in the league right now. Like, obviously, Andy Reid is Andy Reid, but
Andy Reid's Andy Reid.
Yeah, but Dan Campbell's like that, and both coordinators are going to be like looking for head coaching jobs, probably with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, offensive, defensive, respectively. You think they're both walking, or you think? Yeah, I think Glenn goes to the Jaguars. I think he gets the Jaguars head coaching.
Well, spot. I just saw yesterday Kellen Moore had an interview, which pissed me off. Not because Kellen Moore is most likely going to leave, but it's like you have teams that are preparing for the playoffs, and you're just taking the guy. Like you have 6 days to prepare, maybe 5, and you're just going, "Yep, I'm just going to pluck you for the day." And
it's like, bro, we need to lock in. Like when you're eliminated, you can do that shit. Oh.
That's the argument I've been having, but that's a whole NFL's got to fix that. But I think Johnson's a guaranteed walk.
And he has to be. He'll be like one of the highest paid head coaches.
If he really wants to win a Super Bowl, and if they don't do it this year, then I guess he stays. I think Glenn is severely underappreciated because, like I just said, with the
they lost half their talent.
And they're still it's not pretty, but they're still holding teams. They're still doing their job. Yes, the offense is carrying, but for what he's done on that defense with nobody, I mean, they lost Hutch. And then after that,
is he coming back? Like they were next Super Bowl? Like
allegedly.
That's great. What did they give it him? Like he broke his leg into 2 in October. How are they going to get him back? I mean, Demo's coming back, by the way, so that'll be great for the Sonic and Knuckles duo.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the running attack there. Yeah, the Commanders' defense is going to have some struggles against.
They have Bobby Wagner back, but I mean, 35-year-old Bobby
Wagner's good, Lattimore's good. They have a solid defensive line, but not when the lines are just going to be tiring the hell out of you. You have to cover every one of them. Amon-Ra, it's just good.
I think it hurts them the worst that Montgomery's back. It really does. Because I mean, for 2 weeks right now, just run on. Yeah, it's just been Gibbs. But now it'll be Montgomery, Gibbs.
Yeah. So I think it'll be more it'll be lines 35 to Commanders, maybe an 18-21.
Yeah, I think it'll be tougher for the. I think the Commanders get shut out. Not shut out in the second half, but maybe 6 points.
Like a couple field goals by Zane.
Yeah, nothing. He's nothing.
Maybe he wanted to do his hair so often because they'll be down by 30. So he's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Get my kicks.
I think honestly, it'll be one of those where Detroit pulls away in the fourth quarter. Just.
Because they don't let up. They're like, oh, we got a 20-point lead. We're gonna keep going. They're not like we're gonna take a rest. We'll sit down with our guys. No, you're gonna keep playing. Jared Goff, you get 5 touchdowns real quick. Yeah. But the Lions actually, dude, they got conference championship game. If it's Lions Eagles, I don't know. Who's going to win that one?
I don't know. Man,
It could be
I'm
Lions Rams, but
like it would take for me to see Jalen be like I need to see Jalen versus the Steelers tomorrow, but I still need to see Saquon do Saquon things.
yeah,
For me to feel confident that the Eagles could play
because I
and
know Jalen can be a
potentially
top 5
beat.
quarterback. It's
He
like,
can be. He just isn't.
yeah. And that's the thing about Hurts is like he's like 5th on the top 5 quarterbacks, and then people are like, "But is he?" Like, because like some of those sometimes he just underperforms. We saw that last year with all the interceptions, and it's like I want you to be like you can be good. Like, and obviously he's like one of the better starting quarterbacks in the league. But I'm like, I know you can be. We saw 2 years ago, like he was amazing.
20. I was going to say 22. You look at him, you're like, you were a game shy of winning the MVP. I mean, they
You were
lost the
MVP
MVP
candidate,
because of
Was it Mahomes that won that year? Or was it Aaron Rodgers?
that was Mahomes, but he lost it to the ankle. Like against the Bears.
Yeah, I forgot about
so that's why he lost it.
Minshew
Otherwise, he
played
was
for a little bit.
Yep.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So I mean, we can see it. We've seen it out of him. You can say, oh, it's talent this, talent that. I don't get me wrong. AJ Brown is, in my opinion, a top 5, top 10 receiver, and so is
He's very educated too. He reads
15.
books.
Yes, he does. He
AJ Brown,
it
yeah,
well.
top 5 most well-educated receiver. He's on the first page of books like LeBron. He's like, this is a good one. I like this acknowledgement paper or like the preamble. This is good. This is good stuff. He's like, yeah, I like this. Yeah, dude. Like, I know the media's like, oh, AJ's being a diva again. He's not getting the ball enough.
Listen, honest to God, if the guy is your leading receiver and the guy is doing what he does best. Now, I know he's fighting a knee injury right now. If he wants to eat wontons on the sideline and have an egg roll, fine.
Yeah. I mean, Chinatown's not being taken away in Philly, so he could swim.
Yeah, thank God.
That's a basketball talk. Tickets can build a new arena somewhere else, so Chinatown's safe. But anyway, besides that point, so we're both taking the Lions against the Commanders. Kind of went on a different spiel there, but
do you think this last game we might have different answers?
Oh yeah. So last game we're going to talk about Ravens-Bills. Okay. Ravens coming off that win against the Steelers made Tom's team look like absolute shit. Mike Tomlin's a fraud, and Ravens taking that win.
It is so sad but funny to me that this is like every year. Like I honestly felt good about the Steelers, and I'm an Eagles fan. And I looked there and I sat and I said, maybe they're actually doing something good. And then I started to see out a rust when I saw a lot of the Eagles last year, where Jalen just looked like ass last year. And then you're like, okay, well, they lost to the Eagles. I guess the Eagles are just that good. Then they got lost to, who did they lose to after that? Because a week after they played the Chiefs, or maybe whatever it was.
They got destroyed by the Chiefs on that Netflix game.
Was the
Christmas
game before?
Yeah.
I think the game before that, I don't remember, but they lost that game too.
I gotcha. So yeah, it was week 16. The Steelers lost to the Ravens. Yeah, 34-17.
Yeah, it was
they played the Chiefs.
Oh,
yeah. They did have a tough schedule starting with us, yeah.
And so when you look at it, you're like, oh my God. So I do wonder. I heard that Mike Tomlin's job is safe, but how safe is it?
Yeah, I've never seen the little graphic of Tomlin next to Mike McCarthy, and I'm like, damn. Like, you always talk about, hey, they both have one Super Bowl too. Like, and I get Tomlin gets you to the playoffs every year, but this year you have the talent. Like, you have a quarterback who's above average with Russ, and I even like Fields a lot. So I think they're going to start with Fields in the future.
We'll see. They're honestly a bunch of morons. So,
and why does Arthur Smith have a job? Like, I mean, obviously he could be a good guy, but we saw the Falcons as a head coach. Like, they were not good. They made him the offensive coordinator.
The Falcons, and you see Bijan Robinson. Now Kyle Pitts ended up being a bust, but when you look at that, you see Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and they had one other guy on that team.
Darnell Mooney at that point?
Mooney, and I think he had Patterson for a year. I think he had Cordell Patterson.
Tyler Algier too. Backup.
Yeah, and honestly, the South is still a very winnable division. I mean, it did come down to week 18.
Falcons almost won it with Penix coming in the last 3 games. Yeah.
So for Arthur Smith to fail miserably with that, I'm not saying that team's a juggernaut. I'm just saying that is a very nice.
Like last year they had it because Buccaneers went like 9-7 last year, or 10-7, like whatever.
Yeah,
it wasn't
amazing. It was in their grasp, and he did like
drop that. And they don't use Najee Harris. Like you get someone of an O line now, you don't use them. I don't know. It's just like it's right there. And yeah, the Ravens defense, who haven't even been like amazing, they've started to lock in the past 2 games, and start improving. They just didn't want to, and you have George Pickens crashing out in the corner trying to take out Marlon Humphrey, and like I don't know. Steelers are a mess right now.
Pickens is not that great of a receiver.
He's good, but he's good, but he thinks he's like top 10.
In my opinion, he's not.
No. Maybe look at Tyreek Hill. That'll be a good recipe. Tyreek Hill and George Pickens in the same locker room. That will end up. Tomlin loves his Divas. He'll be fine. And they keep him. Yeah.
We'll see. But
the Ravens beating them and the Bills coming off of just destroying the Broncos. Like,
I mean,
Broncos first time making the playoffs in 10 years, and then the Bills treat them like that.
Did that surprise anybody? Maybe the fact that the Broncos only put up 7, but I can't sit here and say, wow, they killed them. Like I'm not shocked. This is.
Well, the Broncos beat the Chiefs 38-0. I was like, there you go. Like, of course it was the Chiefs, but you're coming out something like that hot, and then the Broncos they had the first drive. They were pretty good. Like, was looking solid.
For the Broncos. That's what you wanted to see, right? You wanted to see a playoff berth. You wanted to know that Bo Nix was the future of the franchise. It's very clear that he is the future of the franchise. So
I think I would say more of the president of the franchise, because the man's almost in his 30s. So like,
that's true. He's been playing college ball since 2010.
So. He played against Joe Burrow in college. Joe's in the league for like 5 years now. That's hilarious to me. But the Bills taking care of business. But yeah, now we're talking about these two behemoths, Bills, Ravens. I mean. If whoever loses will be seen as like a playoff choker, which sucks because they're the MVP candidates to both quarterbacks.
I think, in my opinion, Allen gets it. I think voter fatigue. And if we're just going to sit here and say stats, then honest to God, why isn't Saquon being involved? But I'm not going to get that deep into it.
It's a quarterback award, but yeah.
It always will be. I genuinely don't know. I mean,
yeah, I don't know either. See, when you said it, I thought, you think Josh Allen wins MVP? I think so too, because it's different, because Lamar already won it twice, so they're like, it's a narrative award. They're like, oh, Josh hasn't won it yet. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah,
and also the thing with Josh is Josh had nobody till the trade deadline when they got him.
Yeah, we thought this was gonna be a retooling year for them as well. Like this year, after they lost, a couple of the guys, like, Bills will just be somewhat above average. They could still win division, but the Jets may be competitive. Like that. Wrong. No, Josh Allen, they were the best they ever looked.
Yeah, shockingly. I guess that's what happens when you get rid of the cancer, Stephon Diggs.
Stephon, I like Stephon.
I like Diggs. He just likes to run his mouth a little bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, no teammate wants him to be with their sister. So I mean, like, it goes without saying. It's like if that's a repeated thing, that's not good. But yeah, Khalil Shakir, DeMar Hamlin's been really good for the Bills. I was shocked this year. Honestly, he's a comeback player this year, because like last year, I know he came back from almost dying, but this year he's actually came back from being awful.
Yeah,
like he's actually pretty good now.
I am honestly, I gave him a lot of shit. I gave their fans a lot of shit for caring about him that much. I get it. The guy owns that. I'm not taking that away from him.
No, I mean, as a person, obviously, we put that aside. Like, yeah, as a player.
But they're like, oh my god, they were acting like Brian Dawkins had just been shot and killed out in front of Lincoln Financial Field. Like
oh my god. Yeah,
I get it. Person aside, the talent was not there that year. We're all happy that he's alive and well, but holy shit.
Yeah, like you're blowing this out of proportion. But yeah, this year's been really good for the defense. Bills defense. Von Miller did really good last week against Broncos. Matt Milano's great.
I can't wait. I guess he decided to wake up from his power nap.
And it was his former team. He was like, oh yeah, right, I forgot about these guys. Let me just.
He's like, I guess I can lift my fingers.
Yeah, I forgot about football. Like one of the best linebackers of all time. Let me just lock in real quick.
Yeah, let me Bills
get my defense. Paycheck. Yeah, I mean, who do you have winning Bills Ravens? You don't know. Like I don't. Watch this be like a blowout for one of the teams. I would be shocked.
I'm an Allen lover, so I'm gonna go with Bills. But see, we know the Chiefs are winning this, right? We know that. So now we're going to sit here and we're going to seriously sit here
Some
and
bullshit,
debate
bro. Yeah.
who do we want to maybe dethrone them in the AFC Championship game.
It's like, who's
honest
come
to
close?
God,
Bills actually beat them this year in the regular season. We saw
Yeah.
them last year against the Ravens. They didn't do anything against them in the
the
playoffs.
Ravens were so disappointing because they beat the hell out of the Texans, and then
Last year, yeah. Nothing
Like it-
against the Chiefs, yeah.
and that
And we
was the
saw-
Texans team. The Texans put up 44 points against the Browns that year. So
It's
You know,
interesting
it's-
how this is going to play out. And then, yeah, we saw week 1 this year with the Ravens pretty much could have beat the Chiefs. Like Isaiah Likely cut off his big toe.
Yeah.
So it's like both of these teams, Bills actually beat the Chiefs with a field goal.
I
winning
think
field goal.
I think both of these teams can beat the Chiefs, but
in
the
the
thing
NFL
is,
script, nah. Come
the
on.
regular season is far different from the postseason, and we all know what the Chiefs do in the postseason.
They lost,
It's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
it's not a secret.
They were like,
So,
oh, I forgot this. When did the playoffs start? You know, they just
No,
like
it's-
sleep it off.
oh, it's January. All right,
Chiefs fans
fine.
honestly don't even need to watch football until like December, January. That's when they're like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we won the division again. Oh, how about that?
I'm actually I'm taking the Ravens to win. I think against the Bills.
All right. Yeah, I
think-
think I'm gonna say Bills 38 to 24.
I think it's gonna be the best game of the playoffs, probably.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know how you can get better than this. Like Lions, Eagles, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know if we can be as flashy as we're not really a flashy team. I think Bills Ravens will be more flashy. Josh Allen will be pulling throws out of his ass. Lamar will be doing some spin moves you haven't never seen before. Derrick Henry will be having 5 guys drag him. Like, I think that's the key to victory too. That's the X factor. I think is Derrick Henry. I think that's how they beat the Bills. Yeah,
I know Zay Flowers is not playing, so
that's not good though for the Ravens. Yeah.
no, not in the slightest. I'm pretty sure that or doubtful, but we all know that doubtful is 9 times out of 10 not playing.
Yeah.
Um,
And they don't have a great receiving room.
No.
Mark Andrews has been more of a blocking tight end this year. He's got some good, catches. Isaiah Likely's kind of taking that spot. He's pretty good. He's just got to watch where his feet are. And Rashad Bateman can be good. This is the rest of the receiving room. It's just like it's not a lot to be desired. But when you have Lamar and Derrick Henry, like it's kind of tough to, say no to that.
it's gonna be like you said. It's probably gonna be the best game of the playoffs. I think.
I will say though, for the Bills, James Cook has taken that step up to be an actual legitimate, like really good running back.
I did not realize how many touchdowns he had this year.
No, he's been cooking.
I genuinely did not know that. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
But-
you appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that either. I was just like, oh shit.
But
That's fantastic.
I mean, he is 18. I think it was 18 times 16, whatever it was. But my
Yeah.
God,
Because when you think Josh Allen, because he runs the ball so often, you're like, I don't think their running back has any like touchdowns. But
Yeah,
now
no,
they
you don't
did a
even
lot
think
with
about
them. Yeah. Receivers have been solid this year. Like Kincaid's. I know you love King.
that son of
Yeah.
a bit.
That fantasy team, bro. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. believer. But yeah, he also had Shakir taking that step up. Amari Cooper, they traded for him. From the Browns, and Amari's
Matt
been.
Collins has not been bad.
No, Matt Collins. What did you see his outfit when they played the Broncos? Man was
He
in-
is.
He used to play for us. I mean, he's committed.
He is something else.
Yeah,
He
what
is
was it? He was like
something else.
barefoot or like he was wearing
He
slides?
doesn't wear shoes. Yeah, he doesn't believe in shoes, forks, knives, spoons. Like he just said that silver. He said he doesn't believe in tools.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
whatever works for that guy.
Dude, he's gonna drop like a big pass to lose the game. How much bet? And it's like, oh, he could use some tools then, or like,
Yeah,
something
my
bad.
God. That's a
Yeah, but-
headline.
they could go either way. Honestly, like I could see Bills winning too. Like, I say Ravens, but I'm like they don't. they'll be good.
I agree. I agree, and I have no.
Look, whoever
I don't
can beat the
have a-
Chiefs, I'll take them in the win.
Yeah, I was say I don't have a come on factor in this game where it's like, realistically, I want Washington to beat Detroit. I would feel a lot more comfortable playing Detroit if the Eagles win. But that's all. Like in this game, it's like, obviously I want the Texans to win. Just not gonna happen. No.
You can only believe.
Oh man, Polar Express, here I come. But I'm going to say Bills, and then
Yeah.
if we look to next week, this is now what the 6th time that the Bills have played the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's
in
been
the
a while
AFC
since a
Championship?
conference championship. They usually do the second round. That's happened like 2 or 3 times, I think, because it was the Bengals and Chiefs. I think like 2 years it was. It was the year Eagles lost them to the Super Bowl. And then the year the Bengals won to the Super Bowl, it was Bengals Chiefs in the conference
Right, and
championship.
that's and the
Chiefs Bills
Chiefs
has been more
blew
like a
that
second
game.
round game. Yeah. So,
Was that the
but yeah,
year? I think that was the year the overtime rule came into effect.
yeah. After that point, because the coin flip. Yeah, the infamous coin
Which
flip. Josh Allen didn't
which
get the ball.
needed
Yeah,
to happen.
that was rough, bro. But yeah, you have Chiefs Bills. I would have Chiefs Ravens. I think Chiefs win that. Like,
I think the Chiefs have walked again to the Super Bowl before they've even played a game, and
dude,
it
if they didn't have that
sucks.
bye week, I think they could have lost.
You
Um,
know the whole meme. Oh, I agree. I think the whole meme about nobody wanted to play the Bengals. I genuinely would not want to play the Bengals.
no,
I
dude, that offense is
I
scary.
that offense is damn good. It's the Jaden Daniels LSU effect. I mean, they just
Exactly. Joe Burrow's like, I can't. It's just LSU teams, man.
yeah. I mean, they would have killed somebody, and I think had they played the Chiefs, they would have.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I wish. But we got the Broncos instead. Like, good for them. But like, if
Go
Bengals are
for
that
the
spot,
go for the
I'm well, I'm
Broncos.
I'm good that Broncos made it instead of the Bengals because the Bills would have had to face the Bengals, and I don't want to. We need
Oof.
the Bills to be there because they could be the
Yeah.
Chiefs. Yeah.
Now, I realistically the Bills have a better chance of doing it, but the Bengals were scary this year. You
Hey, I
never knew
know,
if
dude.
they
I
were
had
going.
Jamar and Chase Brown on my team, man. That's why I knew. But
I
yeah,
got added to a fantasy league really late in the year to substitute for somebody. That guy had T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown.
he's
And
a
that
Bengals fan.
game, no, and that's the funny. And was it the Christmas Eve game when they played the Broncos or whatever it was?
Dude,
And T. Higgins had like 4 touchdowns. I benched him.
that's crazy. You just can't catch a dub, man.
No,
um.
I'm losing in basketball right now too.
Oh yeah. Let's speak of what you might want to invite me to that league. I'm a cook. The NFC Lions Eagles. Dude, I don't. I think the Lions in this one. Look, hey.
Kills me to say that. It
Yeah.
kills me to say it. It
Like,
does. But,
how
okay,
can we stop that
so
Lions offense? You know.
so while it kills me to say it, because obviously I'm an Eagles fan, it doesn't make me hate Detroit. I would root for Detroit. I want to
Oh,
see
dude, it's
Dan
Lions
Campbell
Chiefs. It's
succeed.
like the ultimate dynasty versus the ultimate underdog. Like, I
Yeah,
know the
like
Lions were an underdog this year, but as a franchise, you know, like
ignore the dog.
that's fine.
Um,
But the Lions, yeah, they've never been to a Super Bowl, so that's an underdog story, bro. As one of the
yeah,
oldest franchises in the league too, and to do it against the Chiefs too, like that, you know,
it's a long way coming for a team. Hey, my sister.
it's fun.
I think it'd be. I think it'd be a very. That'd be a hard fought Super Bowl, and to see Dan Campbell. I mean, when you look at that Detroit team, nobody other than Jared Goff that comes to mind that has been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Jared Goff,
is
he
that
knows how
was
to get your team there. I mean, he's done it before, and he was at the conference last year. So
he's a great. I was gonna bite me to say this. He's a great system quarterback. I really think he is.
he's
It's
like the
not an
best
insult.
system quarterback. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not an insult. I know system quarterback is an insult to a lot of people. I really think that he thrives in that situation. Like my man Brock Purdy, who I hate so much because of how much everybody loves him. I think if you were to put him in the Niners, I think he'd thrive there and he'd take them to a Super Bowl.
Oh, dude, if Jared was on the Niners, they would have won a Super Bowl last year. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
Because the Lions, they weren't ready last year. I think this year they are. Especially if they get Hutch back in time, even when the defense has been clicking. That Lions Eagles game's gonna be crazy though. It's gonna be like everyone. They're gonna go on fourth. They're not gonna punt on a fourth down. They're just gonna
No.
keep going. There's not gonna be no punting.
No, I think the one thing that would be the saving grace for the Eagles is Terrion Arnold has 18 pass interference calls against him.
Yeah, the secondary is the weakest part
As
of
a
the Lions.
rookie is nuts. But at the same time, if I'm the Eagles, don't get me wrong, I'm using Saquon. You're always going to use Saquon. I'm throwing that fucking thing
It's
to
gonna be tough
AJ
against
Brown
that
all day.
defensive line though.
I'm
Yeah, if
throwing
you
that to
can,
AJ Brown
get the
all
ball to
day.
AJ.
Get that
Yeah.
PI. Get that PI all day.
Yeah, and especially you
It-
got to watch out. to the running game too, because I know Anzalone's going to hunt down Saquon too. He's been awesome this year. But overall, yeah, if you want to just pass the ball to AJ, I mean, Brian Branch is back there and he's pretty good. I will say, but those corners, like it's the safeties are good. It's the corners that is the weak point for the line. So if the Eagles want to win, you got to pass to AJ or Devontae.
That's the way that they have to go. It's got to be Smitty. It's got to be AJ.
A lot of medium passes, I feel.
Jahan Dotson of all people too.
Yeah, you got to touch him. Yeah, so I get to him too. Why not? But I still think Lions win that game. It could be in the 40s. I'm not even lying.
I think it very well could be. I honestly think that as Eagles fans, we'd be sitting there going, "Holy shit! Today's the day the defense gives out." Like it just.
Like how is Vic going to draw like plays to defend that offense? I just don't. Like you're going to pull up some weird shit. Like
I think it's honestly too hard for him. I love Vic. I think Vic's
done an amazing job this year. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for him to have the youngest defense in the league and say, "Hey, here's how we're doing it," like they understand that. So good job to Vic all day, every day. But
I'm hoping he doesn't leave for head coaching job. I don't think he will.
I don't think he will. I think he ran his course on that. I mean, maybe he will in a year or two. But I do know his family.
Or with the Broncos, sorry. He was the head coach of the Broncos. That's what it was.
I think he was the Broncos and then he was
Bears defensive coordinator. That's how he got the job.
Yeah. I know his family's from here, so maybe he just stays for all of eternity.
I hope so, man. Yeah, he's been doing good.
But I stress with Kellen Moore. I think tomorrow, even though everything is in our favor, conditions, being home, everything's in our favor, I think it makes it it's a tell, right? It's a telltale sign of how next Sunday could go.
I mean, Cowboys and Chargers fans will tell you Kellen Moore was not a very, well set offensive coordinator. Like he would have his flashes, but some games we saw against the Packers, like you don't know that's a quarterback or that's not having the best play calls.
But also, I think with Kellen Moore has done a good job. It's not like
he's better
Kellen
than
Moore
our last one, definitely. Yeah,
for sure.
Brian Johnson, I hated that guy.
It's everybody did.
I don't like them.
You don't look at Kellen Moore and go, "This fucking moron's not using Saquon," or he's not using As somebody that grew up on the pass game, yes, I'd like the pass game to be more potent.
Yeah, but it's hard not to use Saquon when he's there.
Exactly. It's hard not to look. Yes, exactly. It's hard not to look at it as, oh, we have Saquon now. So. I think Kellen Moore has done a very good job in that sense, and I really hope he does not leave. So I really hope.
I really like for both coordinators to stay because we saw how it was when Gannon and Steichen both left, who have turned out to be just like all right head coaches, but they were awesome coordinators. But I wish we promoted Steichen, but after seeing how the Colts have been, I don't know.
I don't know if that's his fault or what. I mean, they're just.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in the playoffs. We don't have to talk about them scrubs.
Yeah. I know we're talking about the playoffs, but I want to bring your attention.
Yeah.
The Mike Vrabel hiring.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it.
I know this is a quick.
Dude, they wanted him since the beginning. They did not want Gerard.
Yeah, well, that's my thing, though. Is like Vrabel was on the market last year. Why do you go out and hire Mayo? What made you sit there and say, "Hey, let's go get Mayo," and Vrabel was still interviewing. There was a chance that he was still going to get a job. So I don't understand why you ran that risk and said, "Hey, had the Eagles have fired Sirianni, I have wholeheartedly believe they would have gone after Vrabel with everything they had."
You already know that Patriots fans were we're the Patriots ownership and staff were we're going to hire a head coach. He used to play linebacker for us during our Super Bowl years. Yes. And Mayo, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Now they're looking at Vrabel.
It's not fair to Mayo. I did hear things about how he had how he was not a good coach, but at the same time, you also hear that coaches need a year to develop like players. I mean, sometimes it just takes for a coach to.
Yeah, but how can Mayo do anything? Campbell? Yeah, exactly. How could they did the first year with Dan Campbell? The Lions were what? They only had 4 wins, 5 wins,
3 wins, but it took till week 12.
Yeah, they were winless the whole year, but they believed in Dan, and the players believed in him. John Mayo, how's he gonna how can he do anything with that O line that's Swiss cheese? Drake May ain't gonna have any time to throw that ball.
What receivers would Drake May have? You draft a gunslinger, the guy's gonna stand in there and throw it. He's not gonna run.
Exactly. You can't. he's not going to just dump it off to Ramondre Stevenson. Like he's able to throw it. Like he's had some great throws, but like he was under pressure, probably like 3 different defenders.
I think May
but I
will
think
be
Vrabel's a
good.
great hire. I'm surprised it wasn't the initial hire because then it made Mayo like it sucks for like head coaches that are there for 1 year or two because like they said their whole lives up in this area, and also you get paid well.
Look at Antonio Pierce. Now, I think, honestly, that was a terrible hiring. I like the guy. I know he can get good speed.
I feel like the Raiders were pressured because, like, last time they had an interim head coach was Rich Bisaccia, who everyone wanted to be the head coach. And they're like, no, be like Josh McDaniels. It's like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Like,
but then
Bisaccia was pretty good.
You hear about Pierce, and it's like, but now we're talking about Ben Johnson maybe going there. That's what I keep hearing.
Where do you think Ben Johnson's going to go? Because I kind of talk about Aaron Glenn. I think he goes to the Jaguars because they need to build that defense a little bit. There's some talent there. Yeah.
I keep hearing that New Orleans really likes Glenn, so that's my bet for him. I hear they really like him.
I can see the Saints getting Glenn too. Yeah.
I think
I don't know because the Saints Dennis Allen was a defensive. Wasn't Dennis Allen a defensive coordinator?
He was, but honest to God, I think that might have been just one of the worst options they could have ever gotten.
Yeah, it just felt like they were going with Sean Payton's like one of his apprentices or whatever, but it's just like no. It's
just not a good. I think Johnson goes. I don't think he goes to Dallas. I heard something that said he goes to Dallas. That's
dude. It's gonna be Deion Sanders. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Deion, bro. I have this weird feeling.
What's that gonna do for you? Like, don't wear flip flops.
Deion's like, man, where's Silo at? Why is there Silo on this team? We should trade up for Shador.
Yeah. I think Ben Johnson goes to Vegas. I think that's my final bet. I don't think that he goes to the Jags. I think he knows damn well that is a terrible situation.
I don't know if the Raiders, who's going to get Cam Ward? I feel like whoever gets Cam Ward, Ben Johnson might want to go there.
I feel like can be Ben Johnson and go for a coaching job this year. Like it's obvious that it's other than Dallas, it's all the teams that are picking in the top 10. I feel like it's a terrible...
Are Titans keeping their coach Callahan? I think they are.
I think so.
So I don't know how they're going to... They might trade... If I were them, I would trade now. But they might go quarterback. I don't know. Will Levis, I think it's hilarious.
You know how I feel about the quarterbacks this year, but I guess everybody else doesn't. Is that I don't feel that any of them are good this year. I know Drew Aller just choked away the semifinal game, but I'd still take Drew Aller over Shador Sanders. I still take Cade Klubnik over Shador. Cam Ward.
I'm a Miami fan, so I'm a big Cam Ward guy. I think he's the one guy
I know you are. So, Ward may...
But now we got Carson Beck. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's fine with that
because I was trashing Carson Beck so hard in those playoffs, and I'm like honestly, the backup's better. And then Carson Beck commits to Miami. I'm like, Carson Beck's the best. Love that guy.
My favorite all time.
I was crying on the inside. That's a lot of money.
I think Vegas. However, they got to be really patient with him. It's not that he's going to be a bad coach. I just think you're going to probably draft Shador because I think Shador is now the number one overall pick. Over Travis Hunter, which is kind of shocking, but not really.
Travis Hunter's a Brown, bro.
I think Abdul Carter goes to the Browns.
Him and Myles Garrett? Yeah, that'd be kind of insane.
Yeah. He did say he wants to be an Eagle. Stop. Howie Roseman.
And what's this? The Eagles straight up and we get Travis Hunter, and I'd actually be like, you know what? He does deserve the hype. You know what? I was a GT guy, but I was like, you know what, Hunter, he's the best. What am I talking about? Another guy for Jalen not to throw the ball to. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Jalen's like, yeah, I'm going to run it. Like, no options available. But yeah, the Vrabel hire was interesting for the Patriots to see how everything else shakes out for all the other head coaching vacancies. Mike McCarthy, he could go, if Mike McCarthy gets a job as a head coach, I'd actually be shocked.
And the last one, I will say, the one that, I guess he's not on a hot seat, he is on a warm seat. Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills.
If they lose to the Ravens,
Because how many times now have you gone either conference championship or divisional round and you have lost to either?
I'm surprised Zach Taylor's still a coach. Without that defense was, that's bad.
That is brutal. But I think McDermott is on a very warm seat. Don't get me wrong, he's taken the playoffs almost every year since he's been a coach. I think every year but his first year.
If he gets fired, you already know that conference. Like, this is the worst disaster since. Don't say it again. Don't talk about. Don't bring up 9/11 against Sean McDermott. But yeah, so yeah, McDermott could be in the hot seat too. Which is, I mean, he's been there since like what 2017, and he got into the playoffs, which is like the first time the Bills made the playoffs in a while. So they're like, oh, we'll keep him around. But it felt like they should be better than what they are.
They always do, but they never get over that hump. And sometimes,
and this is the year I was like, they might be worse, and they actually ended up being better. So
so we'll see. But
yeah. If they win and they get to the conference championship, I would keep McDermott. I think because it's hard to find a really good head coach. Yeah,
I would. I mean, like you just said, it's hard to find good coaches.
Like I hate on Sirianni, and arguably he's like a top
on
10
paper.
coach.
The stats show it's just he has his moments. You're like, why?
Yeah. Well, early this year we were like, because in the end of last year we were like, dude, is he really?
The end of last year, I think
I made the whole video. I'm like, should we fire him? I'm like, nah.
The end of last year, I think, just leaves the stigma of his reputation. I think this year, when you look at what he's done, he's kept his mouth shut other than the Browns game. And he actually listened to the O-line that said, hey, let's run the ball more. And he actually listened, and they did that, and they're doing that still.
And I like that he asked Saquon, like, do you want to stay in the game, break the record? He's like, I'm good. And I like that he, like, talks that out with him. Instead of just being like, no, dude, keep playing. I want these numbers to be happening when I'm head coach, so people look back on me better. So I will say that's a good move. Yeah. But Super Bowl prediction. So you have Chiefs Lions, and I have Chiefs Lions. I'm pretty sure, right?
I have Chiefs Lions. I would really like it to be the Eagles. Over the Lions,
I have Lions winning the whole thing. I think Lions win their first Super Bowl.
I can agree with that. Honestly, I think this take will age terribly. But yeah,
I'm knocking on wood right now. I would like to not see the Chiefs win. But it could very well happen. This is the no fun league, so yeah.
Never is, never will be. Yeah. They have to have their golden boy, right? They have to have their next Brady.
Yeah, I hope our takes are like Colin Coward, like we provide the hot stuff here.
He just ranked Jalen the 8th best quarterback out of the 8 remaining quarterbacks for this round.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I think my favorite part of that was he put Stroud at 7. So I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, I get Jalen hasn't had the lights out year that you expect him to have, but you're really going to tell me that both rookie Jaden Daniels and Stroud are better
than it hurts. I know based off last round, if he was saying like based off on what we saw in the playoff games, then like maybe, but like Goff and Mahomes didn't play in the playoffs, so like how can you put them in there too? Yeah. So if we're going off this year, low key Mahomes should be like 7 or 8. Like Mahomes hasn't even been that great this year. Yeah. If we're going off name value. Like, yeah, obviously, like, top 3, but this should be 7 or 8. Like,
and he has, 13 picks or whatever? Mahomes has something crazy in the amount of interceptions he has. But hey, it's never his fault. It goes off the receiver's hands, and it's always their fault.
Collinsworth is
always their fault.
Collinsworth is like, Mahomes 7? Yeah, no. Like, we're not doing that. If Coward did the list legitimately, put Mahomes at 8, Collinsworth, that would be all he's someone all game. He's like, what a great year by Mahomes, who Colin Coward thinks number 8 best quarterback in the playoffs. Yeah. But yeah, so I have Lions win the Super Bowl. That'd be sweet. Obviously I would like to see the Eagles win. We only have the one. But the Lions win one and it beats the Chiefs, I think not having the three-peat happen, that'd be sick. So
I think for the sake of the NFL, not having a three-peat. Why don't the three-peat? Not seeing the Chiefs win it this year because like last year the whole thing was about Taylor Swift.
Rumors. Yeah. That would be bad.
That was the whole thing. And I think this year for them not to have a three-peat, have a really mediocre ass team, that would just look terrible. I mean, it just.
Yeah, they went 15-2, but we know there were a lot of errors and things wrong with the Chiefs team. We'll see how they do in the playoffs, obviously. We haven't seen how they're going yet. They're going to start playing for us. I think right about now, they'll start playing. Yeah, so we'll see how that shakes up. But any closing thoughts for this rest of the playoffs, Dylan?
I mean, go Birds.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think this weekend potentially is more pivotal than next weekend.
Yeah, because if we can get to the conference championship, that's awesome. Like, okay, I have some confidence restored. But if we lose to the Rams, okay, we have some things to figure out then with the offense, I would say. That's probably because the defense, I'm assuming they wouldn't be the problem. They could be, but it would probably be the offense if we lose to the Rams.
Of course, it always is. When will it not be?
Yeah, it's going to be snowing too, and we're going to get some snowballs and throw them at Jared Verse. Yeah!
Of course.
Just don't put anything in the snowballs, guys. We don't want anything bad. Just throw snow. Yeah.
maybe shooters. It's okay.
Like, there's gonna be some serious security for that game. But this has been the Rude Awakening with Dylan Sistian. Check out all other episodes too, talking about the NFL season. Like the first episode, we talked about how great Sam Darnold has been. To see the storyline of the season's progression. This has been a great season, Dylan. I really enjoyed this season.
It has.
Definitely better than last year. Last year sucked. I hate that last year.
Last year was terrible, and hey,
all the quarterbacks got hurt.
Yeah. Last year was a hard year.
He's not a Super Bowl. Like, at least we'll have a likable team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, for us, if it's Chiefs Eagles, a lot of people wouldn't like that, but we'll like that. It's the Eagles.
Of course. I think, honestly, a lot of America would root for I think this never mind. State of Texas is probably rooting for the Chiefs. But that'd be an interesting one.
All right. And thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and have a great football weekend. And, yeah, go Birds as well. All right.
Go Birds.
Have a great rest of your day, everyone.